What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle Create Space. Link will be in the description box below. As usual, this one's entitled The On Point Players, right? Um, when people talk about guys get their stuff together and they wind up being on point or classic men and they still not settling down and they like, perpetual bachelors. Well, let's talk about that. You know, you got let's get the obvious ones out the way that people want to go with. That's the worst. The guys who are on point players out of revenge, right? You didn't want them, now they hot, y'all all on them, and they just running through y'all for revenge, like ha 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 ha. Another notch on my belt because I ain't get a chance to smash you earlier, or you diss me earlier. So now that I'm in this position, you want, you want to be with me, but I'm a dangle this carrot knowing that you ain't getting it. And that happens, getting your stuff together and being on point and then using that out of spite to get a bunch of chicks or play a bunch of chicks or, however you can see fit, whatever works in that one. So that's the worst one, okay? Then you got the on point player who just winds up, they got their stuff together and they wind up being a player because they got options. Because the women were chasing guys that didn't have their stuff together, but they were attracted to them. So now, and the guy that's on point, he was around, or he's seen this on numerous occasions. So he doesn't necessarily have to be around the women that he knew in the past to know how this goes, because he's seen it play out with himself and other people for years before he got on point. So the guy winds up having multiple women. Women that say he's a player, right? Because he has multiple women. But what they don't say is he got to this point because a lot of these young ladies are still on the fence, and they want somebody who got their stuff together, but they still want what they're attracted to. So they really don't. So he's got a group of women that he's talking to that are one half in and one half out. So it's not that he's a player, but it's really a mutual thing, because the girls he's messing with only want him when they need him, but when they don't need him, they run to the guys that they want. And over time, they've dug their own grave and they cemented where they was at, because you can't keep choosing a guy. You chose guys for attraction, and the guy who's on point just kept getting this stuff more and more together to the point where you got phased out because of what you couldn't decide on a guy who had his stuff together. He just wasn't good enough. So there ain't no coming back. Then you got the guys who are on point players by in the front by the friend zone paying off, trying to like paying off on the back end. They were never good enough. Until they got all their ducks in a row, till all the T's was crossed and the I's was dotted, and then they became wanted, and what wound up happening is they was put in the friend zone. Could be a good person, could be a nice guy, but now they have multiple female friends who friend zoned them, but now they're trying to use the friend zone as a way to sneak back and be that guy's girl. And ironically, they get jealous of each other. And what I mean by that is he's on point, and now he's looked at as a player because he has female friends. But some of these female friends are the ones that friend zone him. So, you might be hanging out with a friend, and say even on social media, you get tagged in a post with a friend, and then these other girls see it and they're like, oh, he talking to these type of chicks. Well, okay, well now it's time to compete because I can get that man because he's been my friend forever and a day, right? But what they forget is all the reasons that they said they wouldn't talk to the guy before he was on point. So the guy may have his character and integrity might not have changed, but his financial and resource situation probably did, right? So now you got the guy, you can't really talk to the guy and say, yeah, you remember all them years I said I never wanted to talk to you for this, and this. Now I want to talk to you now because you on point, you got it together. See, you can't really do that. So now it's just like, oh, what's going on in your love life? How you doing? I saw you with that girl, or I remember the time you passed me by and I saw you out, but you didn't stop and talk. Where was you going? Oh, I was going to holler at such and such and such. Who is that? Oh, it's a chick, what she look like? Oh, she look like blah, blah, blah. Look, I show you a picture. Uh-oh. If she fine, it's a bad idea, right? So now you got, that's the problem. And all these women wind up being in competition, like I said. So now he's a player because you can't say you friend zone the wrong guy, and now you friend zone him, and now you stuck in the friend zone. And yes, and guys will screw their friends, right? So that's why I say it's a player, because sex is involved with most of this stuff. And then why he can't commit? Well, he's gonna use the same line. Look, I've known you forever and a day. You don't feel me like that. You said it a million times. That you're not interested, and I'm not your type of guy, and all that other stuff. So, problem, right? Now, the other one is a bit more tricky. Now, some of these guys wind up being in the friend zone not the friend zone, be on point players because they wanted to settle down, and they're not finding women that they can settle down with. So they're like, what? Yeah, these guys got it together. They at that age where they're looking for commitment, companionship, whatever, and they realize that their standards. Now they have standards, and what they think are regular standards, some people would think are too high. So now they got to deal with all of these females with defects, right? She's fine, but she got a bad attitude. She's a good girl, but I can see she's gonna be overweight because she eats too much. You know, we get along, but she don't know how to carry herself in public. You know what I mean? Um, I like I like her, but she's a bit of an alcoholic. So now you wind up being an on point player because you're dealing with these women in the circumstances where you can only deal with them in a circumstance that's conducive to y'all getting along. So if she likes to drink, I can only hang out with this friend happy hour times because she'll be fun there. You get what I'm saying? The one that don't know how to act in public, we get along inside the house, so she's my Netflix and chill type of friend, right? Um, I like hanging out with this girl, but that's the one that eats too much and is a bit